What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about advanced trade analysis. Now, I've got a template for this in the little space below this video, or somewhere around this video. There should be the template for this. Now, essentially, advanced trade analysis is not something that you need to do straight away. Advanced trade analysis is something that you should be doing, something that I use if, for whatever reason, if you are following your plan, okay, and things begin to go wrong. Or, for whatever reason, maybe the market conditions are changing or shifting or something like that. And you're following your plan, you're following your plan, and you're still getting results that are drastically different to the results that you expect. Okay, I'm not talking about, if you've got a 70% success rate and you get, and you're getting like a 65 or a 60% success rate over 30 trades. That's fine, that's expected. I'm talking about when the difference between what you've tested the plan to be and what is actually happening and the results you're actually getting are drastically different. So for example, as I've written here, your tested plan has 70% win rate and you end up winning 5 trades out of 30. That's something that you maybe need to go back and review. Okay, and this image, as I've shown previously in the beginning sections, is a really, really good way to judge that, okay? Because you are going to see, let's go that 70% example. If we're seeing consistently that we're getting 5 losses in a row, 6 losses in a row, then we know that something's not right. Maybe we miscalculated this. Maybe we didn't test properly and we need to go and back test properly. There are loads of different things, but essentially that's just going to be how you gauge how well your strategy is doing. But it's important that you wait for at least 30 trades in order to make that decision. Okay, now the goal of advanced trade analysis is not to create a perfect strategy, but it is your go-to when your plan is showing some valid, emphasis on valid, I'll put that in bold here, some valid weakness, okay? And so the concept is to look for similarities in the losses and the similarities in the winners and filter the results, okay? And I recommend doing them in bulks of 10 or maybe more at a time. It really doesn't take very long to do. I've simplified this method down a lot over the last year or so because it used to be an incredibly lengthy process and now it's actually fairly quick, okay? So here is the data gathering phase, okay? So in this phase, we're basically going to be going over your journaled losing trades and the wins, okay? And we're only going to be including the ones that have followed your trading plan, okay? Because it's not very accurate for us to include the ones that, maybe you've taken the odd one that didn't fit your plan, or maybe you're just not even at the stage where you can follow your plan consistently yet, okay? And it's not going to help our results and help us improve the plan if we're involving trades that aren't even part of the plan to begin with. So going to be into 2 sections. We're going to have the losing trades and then the winning trades. So you can have an optional screenshot of your trade here. It will be quicker if you don't use a screenshot, and it's not that essential, so which is why I've made it optional. But for some of you, you may want to do it. So essentially for the losing trades, out of the following, which would have made the biggest difference to the trade outcome? And it's always going to be one of these 3 things. It's either the entry, the target, or the stop loss, okay? Because normally, if you just alter one of these things, it's going to make a huge, huge difference. And so you just want to pick the number one biggest thing out of these 3 for each trade, each losing trade, which one is going to do. And you want to basically just keep track of that. You can keep track of that in a Word document, or just, on a spreadsheet or something like that. Just maybe put like a, 1, maybe there's a couple of 2s, a couple of 3s, but overall there's loads of 1s. For example, all of your losing trades, or the majority, would have been improved with a better entry. Okay, then that, okay, the entry is something that really could be improving, and then you can maybe look into adding something like that to your plan. Then you can go back and test it and repeat the process. Okay, don't overthink it, just keep it simple. For the winning trades, again, out of the following, what was the best aspect of this trade that resulted in the win? So maybe your entry was a little bit lower for that buy, which allowed you to have a better target placement. Okay, and so a lower target placement, which means price didn't have to travel as far. So maybe that could be a reason for your winner, which would coincide maybe with one of the losses. It's like, okay, well, I needed better entries for my losses, and I had really good entries for my wins. That might be something that you then need to go and focus on. Might be your target placement. Maybe you're targeting a 1 to 10 and you're just totally not ready to deal with the losing streaks that come with that. If we look at a 1 to 10 risk reward, you can have success rates, as low as literally 15% with that. And so it's almost 100% likely going to have 11 losses in a row. Okay, so you need to pick something closer to your personality, which I've described in previous videos. Might be the stop loss. Maybe you're getting wicked out and then it goes in your direction. Very, very common. Okay, now it's a keynote here, which I've put in the template. Is notice how I didn't select or I didn't add wrong directional bias as an option for either one of these, meaning I didn't put one of the reasons that you can put here as, okay, the trade went against me, it went in the other direction. Now, the reason is that no matter how much you change your plan, there are always going to be times when you get the direction wrong, literally always. When I used to originally start doing advanced trade analysis, it was just pages and pages of me going, oh, shouldn't have done this because this, I should have seen this. And I was just going around in circles. And the truth is that you need you need to just accept that sometimes you're going to get the direction wrong, and normally just improving the entry, the target, or the stop loss will make the biggest difference on its own. And so, yeah, so after you've done this for a minimum of 30 trades, then ideally 50 plus, then you can kind of come on to this next step. And you only really need to ask, what was the most common aspect identified in the winners? So the most common out of these three, and the most common in the losers out of these three here. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's going to give you a very clear insight of what you should be focusing on. Okay, and when we're overcoming these problems, remember just to keep it simple. If you've got a problem with your entries, well, make sure you're entering in the zone. If you're trading the strategy I teach in this course, which I'd imagine that you would be, perhaps filter down more to lower time frames. Okay, to get a even tighter entry and get a kind of zone within a zone entry. Maybe that's something that would make a huge difference. Problem with targets, maybe your risk reward is too high and you're not ready for the lower success rate and the bigger losing streaks that come with that. Maybe you need to reduce that down. Maybe you need to maybe your entries could give you a better kind of target of, the next support resistance area. Maybe you've been targeting 2 or 3 support and resistance areas. Maybe you're missing out areas on the chart that could have been resistance. Maybe you're only targeting old highs and you're leaving out potential break and retest areas as well, which could provide some resistance and stuff leading into those levels. So maybe that would be a better target for you. Maybe you've got a problem with stop losses. Okay, so in that situation, maybe if you understood and identified liquidity better, you could leverage this and turn it from a weakness into a strength by identifying where other people and maybe where you're currently putting your stop loss, and maybe entering where everyone else is putting their stop loss. Where you initially wanted to put your stop loss, maybe try putting your entry there and seeing if that would help. So just keep it simple. Just look at something, logically. If I've got a problem with one of these things, I know that this is a really common reason for loss. And so what is one way that I can look to improve that? And as I always say, guys, okay, the most important thing is is fix one thing at a time. Okay. We are not meant to multitask very much, and so if we just focus on not moving on to the next thing until we have fixed the previous thing, it's going to help us so much in actually improving fairly quickly. So I hope that this has made sense. Remember, this is only really when your plan is not working, or if your plan is working and you would just like to improve it anyway. This is a really good method of doing so. It doesn't take very long. I can't tell you how much this has been filtered down from when I first started and created this whole kind of process. Okay, so be grateful for that, and the link for this template will be somewhere around this video. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.